Good afternoon and welcome to the council meeting recap. Mayor, as you know, having to run the meetings. Yeah. We had an interesting night on Monday night, again, a long night.
We did a very long night.
On Monday night. We started off with the workshop. This is like the second or third time that the council's talked about Chapter 2.
Yes.
And amendments to Chapter 2, but specifically on Monday night, there was more of a focus on the ethics portion of Chapter 2. And just so those at home are familiar with the subject, state law actually addresses a good portion of ethics for elected and appointed officials, which includes your board members and stuff that serve on our commissions and committees. And those are found in Chapter 171 and Chapter 176. And so the council overall just decided that they didn't want to be heavier with the regulations surrounding ethics, any more so than those two chapters of state law already are. Except for in, I think just like two particular instances, y'all are going to review our existing language in the Code of Ethics by ad hoc committee to see if you want to keep that or if you just want to go strictly with state law. But for now, the council directed legal to move forward with just utilizing state law, Chapter 171 and 176, and those areas that that aren't addressed specifically by state law, to leave them in there until that ad hoc committee is formed and has an opportunity to address them. The one particular one that stood out the most, or that there was the most discussion about, was surrounding activities related to council members and board members as it relates to y'all being privy to information through contract negotiations and things like that, that you wouldn't be able to utilize that information obtained through your office for 2 years beyond leaving office. And you decided for now that you wanted to leave that language in the ethics ordinance. But the committee will, the ad hoc committee will look at that further and decide whether or not that 2 years is necessary. There was a council member or two, myself included, as you know, I get to participate in the discussion, but no vote. Thought maybe 1 year might be a little more appropriate, but that was something that overall council just felt like it was better for the ad hoc committee to review at a later date.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, just to expedite things, it's, this Chapter 2 is, we beat this horse severely.
Yeah, I think the workshop went over by like 5 minutes or something. So we spent the full hour and then some on that particular topic. So hopefully, in the very near future, you'll be able to get that before the council for actual consideration and action. Yeah,
and are no pitfalls, because state law does give us direction and we can't override it, or we can't, just like with most things, we can't make it less, we can make it more stringent. But one of the things that the council is trying to do is get rid of a lot of the excess paperwork that we have, because A, it's hard to track, and B, when it comes time to update it, we just end up paying for things that we really don't need.
Yeah,
so,
and some of that language too, Mayor, seemed a little confusing, even for, you know, seasoned members that serve on council. It can be a little confusing. So, yeah, it's definitely reason for pause and consideration of whether you want to leave it in there.
And as Councilman Taylor said, if we find out it's an oops, we can always go back and fix it.
That's right. You do always have that opportunity.
Yep, and that concluded the workshop then. And then we moved into our regular meeting. We started it at 6:46 p.m. That seems to be a trend now, that which is not a bad thing. The workshops are very productive, and so if they run a little bit over, that's I'm okay with that. Announcements, there were a few announcements. The biggest one, and I do not have the paper with me, is the rental assistance that I've mentioned at several meetings now. COVID is still with us. I was on a lengthy conference call yesterday. Things are spiking, so it looks like it's going to be with us a while longer. Next was service awards.
Yes, we did the Employee Service Awards, and we had 3 employees that all were celebrating 15 years each with the City of Watauga, starting with our HR Director, Marcia Reyna. So many thanks to Marcia for her dedicated service to the employees of the city as well as the community as a whole. And then we recognized Officer Stephen Goetschel, who is over or helps in community services, And then Kathy Wynn at the library. She works the circulation desk. So many thanks and appreciation for those employees and their dedicated 15 years of service to the city of Watauga.
All right, then we had a presentation on one of the hottest topics of the summer, bulk waste. Sergeant Mead with Code Enforcement did a presentation along with Abel from Waste Connection. Not a whole lot we can say that hasn't been said about this. We're working on it. Civil Space is going to come up with
A forum,
okay,
public forum.
for citizens to give input.
Mhm.
And then after that, I believe that's going to run for 30 days.
At least 30 days, Mayor.
And after that, then the ad hoc committee that I'm putting together for bulk waste will review the citizen input, and then we'll move forward from there. Waste Connections contract is up next year,
That's correct, in July.
so it will be looked at.
And
Next,
just so the citizens know, part of the presentation on Monday night by Sergeant Mead and Abel Moreno and Madeline Corbin, who's with Code Compliance, included some educational information. And so out in the lobby, Sergeant Mead and his crew or his staff developed a model of what the allowance is for placing bulk on the curb. And we invite you to visit City Hall to actually see this particular model that was constructed for the benefit, educational benefit of the public. 5 cubic yards, I believe.
okay.
I believe it is.
basically the size of a pickup.
Bed of a pickup truck,
bed.
that's right. A standard size pickup truck.
And I drive around the city a lot, as you know, and there's a lot of people that put out excessive amounts. And that hurts the people down the road that are complying. So not making excuses for Waste Connection, just we are part of the problem. So next we went into public comment. We had quite a group show up for public comment, several different subjects. And as everybody knows, we can't take action or discuss items at the public comment. The biggest one was an issue with the senior center, which has already been addressed and not necessarily what it appeared to be that night. So thank you to you, Chief Fannin, and I don't want to leave anybody out, so I'm just going to say all the people at the Recreation Center for getting involved and getting to the bottom of that as quickly as you did. Next was public testimony, and we didn't have anything there. Consent agenda, approved budgets for the Economic Development Corporation, set a public hearing date, and then the Metro Share. Anything you'd like to say about the Metro Share program? Or?
No, I mean, it's just a minor update and renewal of that particular program.
And then just approve minutes. Then we had a public hearing on the Crime Control Prevention District. We had no citizens wishing to speak, so we moved forward with that. Then we moved into action items. First one was negotiated settlement between Atmos Steering Committee. Anything?
Yeah, so Atmos had filed a rate case for their annual rate review mechanism that was enacted some years ago. The city is a member of the Encore Steering Committee of Cities, I believe. There's so many acronyms, they're hard to all remember. But so the city's a member of that, which has its own legal representation, and they had negotiated a settlement with Atmos that was considered favorable by all of the cities that are partner cities, as well as the city of Watauga. And so the council passed a resolution that approved that settlement agreement.
Now, did we approve this last year, or was it the year before?
They actually usually do issue those once a year. So that's something that you'll probably see each year.
Okay, the next item was the biggest item, I think, for the city of Watauga is the special election to allow alcohol sales within the city limits. And we just approved moving forward with that so it can go on the ballot in November. Be some good revenue in that for sales tax.
They will.
The third item on action items was legislative amendments to Chapter 2, which we took no action on because we just finished a good hour with the workshop. Then we went into reports, and we had a report from myself regarding the creation of a subcommittee, special subcommittee, to replace the city manager, which I'm not happy about, but we have to move forward, unfortunately. So I've appointed myself, Councilman Shelburne, and Councilwoman Downey. And we will be doing going through the initial group of resumes and applications. I think we have 14 of them so far.
Last I heard, 14.
To go through. So we'll be busy with that. Then we moved into executive session. It was actually a short meeting till we went into executive session. And we had 4 items pertaining to economic development. And as we mentioned numerous times to everybody, what goes on in an executive session, kind of like being in Las Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And what happens in executive session stays there until we move forward with action. So, but we are making progress, and I think at the next meeting, most of this is going to come to the council for actual action. And we also, the biggest thing from executive action, and this is what really led into it, was we had to come up with an interim city manager. We had 3 applicants, Marcia Reyna, our HR, Paul Hackelman, who is the Public Works Director, and the Chief of Police, Robert Parker, all applied for interim city manager. We did interviews with all of them, and council ended up picking Chief Parker. So he will be our interim city manager once you depart, if I can't keep that from happening. And I will say this, that all 3 applicants that were there did a great job, and the council as a whole did say that we couldn't have gone wrong with any of the 3 that we picked. They were all outstanding candidates. They did a good job. And unfortunately, when you have 3 people vying for one position, only one person gets it. So, but congratulations to all of them, and we'll move forward with Chief Parker as the interim. And with that, we ended our 4-hour and 13-minute executive session, which I think is the longest executive session we've had since I've been mayor. And then after that, we adjourned the meeting. But I think we made a lot of progress on a lot of items, and the city continues to move forward in a positive way.
Absolutely.
I did most of the talking today, which I probably ought to get used to because you're not going to be here for too many more of these. For those that don't know, Ms. Gardner is leaving us to go to Corpus Christi, where they have lots of hurricanes, and it's really hot and it's really windy. So
it does have some weather challenges, no doubt.
It does. Hurricane Fred's out there in the Gulf right now, but it looks like he's going to Florida. So there'll be more to come of this, but I'm sure I join everybody in wishing you luck in your new position.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for everything that you've done for us so far. It's been a pleasure for me working with you. And I don't want to get too far into that because we still got a couple more weeks to go. So with that, unless you have anything else.
No, sir. Just hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for watching.
Yep, have a good day.